Hello. My apologies for the delay in posting the video for this week, for week number 3, and for the technical issues associated with chapters. This chapters 5 and 6 quiz, but the chapter 5 and 6 quiz is posted now, and we can move forward. Chapters 5 and 6, although somewhat lengthy in our textbook, are really issues that we face in the field every single day. And if you haven't read Chapter 5 yet, certainly encourage you to. It's just full of interesting information in terms of client rights and responsibilities, why having a discussion about client rights, protections, expectations is very important, and why having a discussion related to the role of the counselor and your scope of practice and services, and how this conversation process has opportunities for risk and opportunities for protections, or the ability to help clients. So Chapter 5 really goes through that process. Honestly, this is a part of the helping process that is frequently overlooked, sadly, and should be, I think, emphasized even more than we do today, at least in the settings I've been at and within. The next chapter, Chapter 6, is ethical and legal issues. Well, before I move on, Chapter 5 does talk about this new virtual world we live in, where so many times we may be providing virtual services to clients, and some of the risk and protections and issues and challenges and maybe positive outcomes as well. On a personal note, I delivered my first therapeutic session with clients via video this spring due to the results of COVID-19, and happened to be working with a highly motivated youth, but it was still a difficult process to transition to this virtual world. And we're adding another layer of, well, we're adding multiple layers of technology, of differing communication standards, cultural issues, and just so many other processes that I do ask everyone to be conscious of. It's, communication generally is not as simple as sitting down in front of a camera and doing something personal. Personal activity generally takes interpersonal space. And while I'm a technology person, always have been, I'm still somewhat guarded in terms of, whenever possible, feeling the need to see clients in the same space, in the same room. And yes, it's so positive that we have technology-focused interactions. But technology doesn't reach the person. Technology does not reach the spiritual soul of the person. What does is a personal connection. And sometimes that personal connection can be made electronically, and sometimes it can't. And it's a much more of a difficult dance than in-person activity. So is education, for that matter. I would much rather be in a classroom with all of you, as opposed to this digital experience we're having. Thankfully, we do have the digital experience, but it certainly doesn't replace the influence and pair of being together with people. Chapter 6. Again, Chapter 6 is ethical and legal issues, a lot of information on duty to warn, on protections for the client, on HIPAA, for example. This is a pretty long chapter, folks. Um, and sometimes we tell ourselves we can skim information and so forth. Um, not these two chapters. These are skills, knowledge sets, pieces of information that you will use every single day in your practice in the field in human services. Whether you are a generic practitioner or move on to be a credentialed professional, these are skill sets and expectations that you must take serious and must understand as best we can, and rely on supervisors and colleagues and your educational experiences to be your shining light. It's super important. So, thank you so much for watching. Video is about 6 minutes long now, which means it's time for me to take my leave. Take care.